Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to French Dip Empire. This is the Empress. I hope you can hear me and my levels are okay. It looks like the sound is on. And we are about to do a little live stream chat, a little hang. I'm going to catch up on some things that I haven't been able to catch up on. A couple updates regarding our last two live streams, one regarding the Greek royal family, and hi there in the chat. Hi, Movie of the Week. I see you. I can hear you and your levels are okay. Thank you for being helpful as usual. So I'm sitting here in my new super comfy throne, which I just got today, and I'm going to be sitting back and relaxing because, boy, is it upholstered and comfortable. So comfy and cozy. So I want to make sure that you can hear me even when I am nice and comfy and relaxed back in my chair. Does that sound good, Movie of the Week? I know we've got a little bit of a delay, but I hope that this is not too low. And as I said, we're going to catch up on a couple things that I spoke about in a couple live streams last week, one being the Greek royal wedding, the wedding of Princess Theodora of Greece and her lovely, I almost said bride, her lovely groom with the winning smile that so many people have spoken of, Matthew Kumar. And there's an update on Matthew and his job. Let's see. Sounds good. About 30-second delay, not too low. Okay, thank you, Movie of the Week. I appreciate your efforts. I know you are a busy person on your own, so I appreciate the effort you make on my behalf, or should I say our behalf, the imperial we. I'm sitting here with my not quite so steaming cup of Assam golden tea. So that teacup, and actually my real life teacup pretty well matches the teacup that you see on my virtual desk. It's about the same color, if not the same shape. And enjoying my cup of tea as we are about to get into the tea about the Greek royal family and a little bit more about Zach Goldsmith. I haven't finished my sort of deep dive into the Goldsmith family, a family with lots of interesting connections, interesting members of the family, and a lot of stories and scandals. And that's the kind of thing that we are here for: stories, scandals, and connections. And I was surprised that I thought I was just going to come back and do part 2 of my Goldsmith stream, and lo and behold, the Daily Mail had an article today, and it was one of those goofy clickbait articles that they love to put in, and they take a picture of a young person, usually say teenager, 20-something, male or female, and then they say, "Ooh, guess who this is? This, young lady or young man, this singer, this actress, this model, or what have you, is the child of an actress who starred in a blockbuster movie with Tom Cruise, and her father is he's connected to someone else. He used to be in a big rock band back in the day. Who are they?" And then either you can quite easily recognize who the person is because you take one look at them and you say, well, that's pardon me, clearly Nicole Kidman's daughter or something like that. That's her daughter with Keith Urban. Or you go, I have absolutely no idea who this person is. Why are you telling me about this random Nepo baby? And if you choose to click on the article and give them their clickbait click, you will find out who they are. And that happened today. And this was a conversation, excuse me, that I believe I was having. Pardon my throat. I am still getting over the cold that I have had off and on for a couple weeks. The weather in the Empire is changing rapidly. We are experiencing 30 plus degree shifts in temperature. And it is that plus the falling leaves, which are beautiful, but they are all over the Empire and causing the imperial allergies to act up. So my throat is not up to my perfect expectations, but I'm trying to make do. So bear with me, please. Hope it's not too difficult to listen to my voice. A little gravelly, but anyway. So I was reading the Daily Mail, as I do every morning, and lo and behold, they had one of these articles saying, hey, guess who this Nepo baby is? And it just happened to click right into something that we were talking about on the Goldsmith stream last week. Connections. I believe I have to make a correction because I think I incorrectly called someone the son of someone else when they're actually the nephew of that person. So if I ever make a mistake, I always want to correct myself. I am not here to lie or misrepresent. So if you catch me making a mistake, please call me out and I will correct myself. Oh, thank you, Movie of the Week. You sound great anyway. Well, I'm certainly trying, and I'm going to have a little more tea right now to soothe the throat, and then we will get on with the show. So I'm going to move over and show you who we're talking about in this first story, this first update. And that would be, here they are, the lovely couple, the most recent Greek royal couple. The bride here, Princess Theodora of Greece, the younger daughter, there are only two daughters, of the last king of Greece, Constantine II, who died not too long ago, and her recently wed husband, Matthew Kumar, who is an American man, a lawyer who has been practicing in the Los Angeles area. And as of the time of the wedding, there was some reportage by royal author, genealogist, and blogger Marlene Eilers-Koenig, or Koenig, as she may pronounce it, I don't know. And she outed Matthew as in trouble with his law license in the state of California. And reading her, well, I don't have, okay, this is her more recent article. So this is the update. And this is her blog, Royal Musings. You can see the address, Royal Musings blogspot.com. You heard that right. It didn't sound right, but that's what it is. So I would recommend going there and checking out Marlene's blog. It is chock full of information, historical and current information. A fun read if you're into that sort of thing, as I am. And this is her article from yesterday. Matthew Kumar, unable to practice law in California, ... for now. Now, I saw it, as an aside, I saw an article the other day, I think in the New York Post, can't remember, and it said that, quote unquote, kids today, I guess this means teenagers and very, very young 20-somethings, are scared of ellipses. You know, the ... I guess these are associated with boomers, and I think boomers means anyone older than people who are in their teens and very early 20s. And I think they are seen as somewhat anxiety-inducing, like it's a dastardly thing that you would do to someone, that you would be like creating suspense that does not need to exist, and I guess it creates anxiety. To be honest, I didn't read the actual article. I just saw the headline and it was so silly. I didn't even bother to click on it. Okay, movie of the week. You said you told me Kumar was shady. Well, to be fair, many people seem to think that there's something sussy about Matthew. They don't care for his smile, which, as I've said, I've declared to be a winning smile. I will stand by my statement. Here you go. I am not a lawyer, but this is, oh, let me show the picture. Uh-oh, go back. Where did my photo go? I lost my photo. I'm sorry. I'll click on this one. I don't know. There we go. There, winning smile. He's a charmer. They also say that he has camera-hungry eyes, which is a wonderful phrase that, oh, I'll get that off there, get the cursor off of his face. Pardon me. They also declare he has camera-hungry eyes, which is one of those phrases. I kind of feel like it's if you know Greek literature, which I know Movie of the Week you do, like one of those epithets, not a negative epithet, but a positive epithet that would show up in, say, the Odyssey, you know, Greek-eyed Athena, the wine-dark sea, camera-hungry eyes. This is a phrase that is, I don't know if this is quite a word, epithetically assigned. Do you know what I mean? This is the epithet that Crown Princess Mary of Denmark has been tagged with on the one royal board that I read sometimes. And they really dislike the fact that Crown Princess Mary of Denmark, who was born an Australian commoner and not an actual born royal, knows how to make eye contact with camera lenses, which is, of course, when one is in the public eye, when you are a celebrity, one technique that you learn is to make eye contact with various cameras. If you've ever seen actors, actresses, models, singers, what have you, on a red carpet, and they have to do not the red carpet where they just walk, you know, not like a runway type style, but the kind where they have the backdrop and they have to walk, and then they stand with their back to the backdrop and they face the cameras, and it's like facing a firing squad, and the cameras are going click, 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 and all the, you know, the flashes are going off. And if you watch and not just look at published photos of people at these events, if you watch them, they're subtly changing their eye, you know, who they're making eye contact with, or rather what lens, which photographer's lens, or the general direction of the lenses that they are facing, so that all of the photographers can get a good shot, because the best shot you can get is one much like this photo where you're looking directly at the camera and smiling, or, you know, smirking, or whatever the pose is that the person is doing. And they will subtly adjust, say, their chin, or, you know, the tilt of their head, so that they can give a good shot to as many photographers as possible, because that's just good for business. The photographers are there to make you look good, and you are there to give them good shots for whoever hired them, whatever publication. And so you're just working with them, because celebrities who refuse to play nice with photographers who are there to help their careers will quickly find that photographers will do what they can do. And whether that's not take the photo at all, or not take a flattering photo, you know, or calling them names and doing even ruder things when they are standing there trying to take the celebrity's photo. This is a thing that happens, and this is a thing that anyone who has any practice being a celebrity knows. You know, you give good face, so to speak. Tyra Banks and her smizing, you catch my drift. So having a winning smile and having what is derisively called camera-hungry eyes, which derisively and sometimes accurately, this is something that Matthew has been pegged with, that he has camera-hungry eyes, that he might be a little thirsty for the attention. I make no judgment. I don't know the man. I said, winning smile. He's trying to win us over with his smile. Good for him. Theodora looks happy. Good for her. Back to the chat. I'm seeing movie of the week. Oh, ellipses. OMG, it's because they're used to convey tension in cartoons. Do you mean like comic books? You mean like anime or Marvel comics or that kind of thing? I guess, but I don't know why young people would be particularly freaked out by ellipses. Unless someone texts you and finishes their text with an ellipses, and then they never follow up on it. Now that can be a problem, because it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show anticipation. You're waiting. The suspense is the suspense is bothering you. I don't want to say the K word because of YouTube. I have to be careful. Like anime. Okay, I'm not that into anime, so yes, but I would think that it's just an ellipses. I don't know. They're just dots. Get over it. Anyway, you also said Kumar winning smile. Yes, well, he has a winning smile, but not a winning legal career. So before I go too far off on ellipses and smiles, let's take a look back at Marlene's article. And she has a couple screenshots. I assume this is from the California governmental website. I know she will provide a link at the bottom. I have not read this article. I try not to. Movie of the Week writes, well, that's just barbaric. What is barbaric? Movie of the Week. Me not judging people. Anyway, Marlene always cites her sources. She is a diligent researcher. So I know the link will be at the bottom. So this says attorney profile, Matthew J. Kumar, number blah, blah, license status, not eligible to practice law. So that means Matthew Kumar currently is a non-practicing attorney. And anyone who has been following the drama in the LawTube zone, the LawTube verse, the Baldo verse, I don't even know if I want to say that, will understand that being a non-practicing lawyer is quite a distinction. And yes, ending with an ellipsis and not coming back is barbaric. I agree, movie of the week. It's not a nice thing to do to someone in a text. So, okay, back to Matthew and Marlene's ellipses, ... for now. Right. The other thing that I've learned from the LawTube drama, the recent LawTube drama that began with LawTuber Nick Rekieta and seems to be just rolling along and like a snowball pulling other LawTubers and YouTubers and online people into its midst as it grows larger and larger. There has been discussion about what is a debt collecting lawyer and what does that mean? What do they do? Now, Matthew Kumar is, well, a now non-practicing attorney, but his specialty was, and I guess still is, debt collection. Now, what I have learned from hearing other lawyers and other people who are law adjacent speak about the case that came up regarding LawTuber, I think it's Good Logic, a man named Joe, who I guess did this practice. He is, I believe, still is a practicing attorney, a licensed attorney, I believe, and was somehow involved in a debt collection situation. Now, I don't want to discuss any of their cases or their drama, but the point being that in discussing the act of an attorney being a debt collector, I have read, and this is not my personal opinion, that debt collecting is not seen, it's not well regarded, it's not highly regarded of an activity, an occupational choice in the legal field, that if one is a licensed and practicing attorney, that one would, say, be a prosecutor or a defendant, or you would handle estates, or you would handle divorces, or, mediation, that kind of thing. But specializing in debt collection, I guess, is considered maybe a little lazy, the kind of thing where you don't really have to be, you don't have to be an aggressive litigator. You don't have to be really up on, constitutional law. It's, I guess, a little kind of a mechanical thing, a little boilerplate. Someone has a debt they need collected. They can't make it happen. They come to you, the attorney, and they say, here, I will sell my debt to you at a fraction of what I am owed, and you can go to the trouble of trying to collect it. And the attorney says, okay, we'll handle it. And they start sending off letters saying, hey, person who owes a debt, you need to pay it, and we are here to handle it legally and try to force you to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing illegal about that, obviously. It's illegal to not pay your debt if you have one. If you have a judgment, a legal judgment against you, you would need a lawyer to help you, or rather, if you had a legal judgment against someone else and they owed you a debt and they were not paying that debt, you would absolutely want to retain a lawyer to help you collect that debt. And you would be very appreciative of the lawyer who would do that. So not to look down on lawyers who do that. Some do it as a part of, doing other kinds of law. It's not the only law that they do. It's not the only thing they specialize in. It's my understanding that if you specialize in debt collection alone, maybe you're not the greatest lawyer, maybe you're not the most committed lawyer, maybe you're just not that into it or not that good, but not necessarily. And I'm not saying that about Matthew Kumar, but he's definitely a former, I guess, debt collecting lawyer, and he's definitely currently not eligible to practice law. And why? Well, as we can see here, history, date, present, not eligible to practice law in California. And then the date here, October 4th, 2024, because this is American dating conventions. Calendar dating, not, romantic dating. So that's October 4th, 2024, not eligible to practice, discipline with actual suspension. And why did this happen? Well, the previous article that Marlene wrote indicated, that the reason why he had trouble with his law license was there was some kind of complaint that he was mixing personal and business funds. I think it was like client money was being mixed up, or personal money was being taken out. Money for personal reasons was being taken out of a client fund or mixed or something along those lines. And there was a disciplinary judgment against him. He was supposed to do some things, basically go be a good lawyer classes and learn how to do the right thing. And then they just, I guess you kind of go through a little thing and they say, okay, now you know what to do. It's like, it sounds like driving school, really. Like if you got in trouble, like a suspended license, if you got in trouble for your driving and they said, okay, you're a crummy driver, but not that bad. We're not going to throw you in jail, but you have to go and complete some kind of driver's ed course to make sure that you know what you're supposed to do. And you say, okay, now I know, and we know and we stamp it and you go on your way and no more problems. Well, that's basically what Matthew had to do with his law license. He had to go do some things. Okay, let's make sure you know what to do. Don't mix client funds and personal funds. Okay, I won't. Okay, good. Go back, practice law. He had to do just a few things. We went over on the stream, not our last stream, 2 streams ago, in which we discussed the the wedding itself. And yeah, he apparently just didn't bother to do the things that he was asked to do to get his license. It was as if his license was sort of like, we're going to put you on a kind of probationary period. We will sort of suspend it temporarily. But if you do if you comply with these conditions and, just do your little thing, go to your class, yada, yada. Maybe he had to pay a fine. I can't remember exactly. And then he would just be fine. He'd have his license. He'd be eligible to practice law, and he would be a practicing attorney officially. But apparently he did not do that. Now, whether that was he forgot, he didn't know, was it willful? He just said, the heck with it, I don't care. Maybe he doesn't care to practice any longer. Maybe because he is married to a Greek princess, he was over in Europe planning a wedding that if you watched our previous stream about the Greek royal wedding, you would know it was postponed for 2 or 3 years. I think it was 2, as various things, the worldwide lockdown for one, and Theodora's father passing away being a second thing that delayed the actual wedding. So perhaps in all of the drama, all of the busyness, heck, planning a regular wedding can be overwhelming and time-consuming and stressful for many people. Planning a royal wedding overseas with all of this drama and all of these things happening must be difficult. So did he sort of lose track of the things he had to do for his law license? Was he unable to comply easily with what they were requesting of him in terms of timing coming back to the United States? I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe he's just decided he's happy being a non-practicing attorney. We don't know. He, as far as I know, has not been questioned directly about this by any member of the press, and of course, why would they? Although, well, perhaps over in Europe they might be interested. They're not too. I don't think many people are on to this story. Marlene has sort of broken the story. So, and here we have, this is the photo from the wedding day. Theodora looking lovely in her dress. That's groom Matthew Kumar. This here is Theodora's elder brother, Crown Prince Pavlos, who, as the head of the family now, and the oldest male in the immediate family, he walked Theodora, his younger sister, down the aisle because their father, King Constantine II, is deceased. Right here on the right, that is the former Marie Chantal Miller, currently Crown Princess Marie Chantal of Greece. That's Pavlos's wife. That, in the blue, is Queen Anne Marie of Greece. That's Theodora's mother, Pavlos's mother, and also the mother of this guy, who is Prince Nicholas, who's the second son. There's a third son, but I don't see him in this photo. Okay, so moving on to Marlene's text. She writes, although this suspension was expected, it is different from what you want to hear while you are on your honeymoon. Kumar married Princess Theodora of Greece and Denmark on September 28. Well, as I explained in that stream, she's primarily a Greek princess. Obviously, her father was the king of Greece, but the Denmark is because back not many, but several generations ago, Greece decided they wanted a monarchy. They did not have a royal family. They fished around Europe, looking at the European royal houses for a prospective king. They looked to Denmark and they said, hey, you have a spare prince. You want to come down and be our king? And he said, okay. And that's where the Greek royal family came from. They are originally part of the Danish royal family. And as such, they retain the titles of Prince and Princess of Denmark. It sounds a little confusing. I also said I do not prefer the way that this is written, that it says of Greece and Denmark. It makes it sound as though Greece and Denmark are a united kingdom. They are not. They never have been. Just because their royal family is descended from the Danish royal family, it does not mean that Greece and Denmark are ever or were ever united by any ruling family or any other kind of like governmental or political connection. It's just this connection as far as I know. And they're in Europe. So that's why Greece and Denmark, but they don't go and participate as full-fledged members of the Danish royal family. They're not getting money from the Danish taxpayers. So it's none of that. It's like a vestige. It's like it's almost like what, the appendix? No one really knows what it's there for. It just kind of hangs out in your body, and sometimes it'll act up and you have to have it removed. Well, that's kind of like the Prince and Princess of Denmark. It's just sort of hanging out there. They're already princes and princesses of Greece. They don't really need the Danish title, but, you know, it's there. I don't think they ever remove them, though. But who knows? Maybe in the future. All right, so the text of Marlene's article continues, and I'm going to scroll down. Okay, so it looks like she's quoting, discipline.calbar.ca.gov. So that's going to be a state of California government website. And CalBar, obviously, that's the California bar, what they call the law bar, coming to the bar to become a lawyer. Anyway, so there's a lot of text here. I don't want to read all of this because it's a lot of, court cases being cited and rules and whatnot. But shortly, just to sort of sum this up, it says that Matthew J. Kumar is suspended from the practice of law in California for 1 year. Execution of that period of suspension is stayed, and respondent is placed on probation for 1 year, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, respondent is suspended from the practice of law for the first 90 days of probation, so that would be 3 months. And number 2, respondent must also comply with the other conditions of probation recommended by the hearing department of the State Bar Court in its order approving stipulation filed on May 21, 2024. And number 3, at the expiration of the period of probation, if respondent has complied with all conditions of probation, the period of stayed suspension will be satisfied, and that suspension will be terminated. Okay. So you have to do all these things, and then as it says here, failure to do so may result in suspension. And that's what happened. So Marlene says, for Kumar's license to be reactivated, he must follow the requirements in the court order issued on September 4th. And then this is the link to her previous article. A black cloud hovers over Matthew Kumar as he prepares for his wedding. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, well, the black cloud is not just hovering. I guess it's now raining on Matthew. But I think he has a nice royal umbrella over him. So I don't know that this is really going to be a problem for him. Movie of the Week writes, busted. Yeah, kind of. But I don't know. I mean, he's now officially a member of the Greek royal family. Does he care? Would you? Does it matter? I really can't tell you. We don't know that much about this guy other than he's got a great smile and he does well when he poses for cameras. Other than that, he's an attorney. He's from the U.S. and he's 40 and more legal trouble. Although it's kind of like passive legal trouble. He's not going to jail, right? He might have to pay a fine, but it's not like he's being sued or has been sued by someone. A client has not accused him of malpractice. He hasn't been accused exactly of stealing clients' money. The mingling of funds. I think it says in this article here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit and see if it says exactly what he did, because I do remember reading it last time. Yes, Kumar's law firm Farmar is a debt collection service. The website has not been recently updated. And when I did the Greek royal wedding stream, we did look at, I think we looked at his website. I know I looked at his website, and it just explained that he seemed to have inherited it from a retiring attorney whom he had worked for. It was there was another attorney. He had established the practice, the law firm. Matthew apparently had worked for him for about 10 years, I believe it said. And then the man retired and said, okay, I'm basically going to hand the firm, I guess also the clients, over to Matthew. Whether he retained them or not, I don't know. I assume it was all, it was also a debt collection service. And as you can see on the screen, that Matthew took over the firm in 2013, so about 11 years ago. And Marlene says, eventually Theodora and Matthew may return to California to live, but Kumar may have to find a new career. Well, I mean, if his license is suspended, obviously it's suspended for a period of time, and he could get it back. He wasn't accused of doing anything like so incredibly horrible that they would probably take his license away forever. I suppose if he wanted to return to law, he could probably find a way to get his license reinstated. Now, if anyone would want to hire him having had a suspended license, that's another story. If all they wanted was debt collection, it'd probably be okay. Why they might want to return to California, Theodora, as we covered on the original stream, is or has been an actress. She uses the stage name Theodora Grease, and her biggest claim to fame, her biggest credit, is appearing on the TV show The Bold and the Beautiful, an American soap opera, which I believe is still on the air. She was actually on it for several years. I have not seen a clip of her acting. I unfortunately cannot bring one up to play on YouTube, lest I get dinged for copyright purposes, but I think it's probably safe to say that at 41, not having done more than, appeared on a soap opera, an American soap opera for some years, I would say that Theodora probably doesn't have the greatest future for her continuing career in acting. No indication if she actually cares, if she's going to continue. Perhaps now that she is married, she and her husband would like to start a family. And if you wonder, well, where is the money coming from? Because Greece does not have a royal family any longer. These people exist, and they do, some of them live in Greece, but they are not representatives of the government. There's no monarchy in Greece. They voted them out, I think it was 1970, I want to say 3, voted them out. They kicked them out. And then I believe voted and said, we don't want a monarchy. So they're not officially recognized in Greece. And I think many Greek people have no desire, probably the opposite of a desire to have a royal family at all. And especially these people. Movie of the week in the chat says she also probably doesn't care. Do you mean about acting or about his law career? Because obviously I don't think anyone cares that much. She doesn't care. She married him. I don't think she cares about her acting career. It was probably just something fun to do. Looking at her IMDb credits, she has some, not that much. It's not enough to pay the bills forever. It wouldn't be enough to live on. Anyone that has that kind of an IMDb page, they would have to have some kind of side gig, knowing people with IMDb pages and knowing how to balance credits versus income. I would say that no, if she was a normal working, attempted, wannabe actress, if she was a working actress, she would not be making that much money, and she would definitely have to have a side gig or two to pay the bills. Probably she'd be living in an apartment with some roommates. Theodora probably doesn't care about acting. And that would be good, because if she did care, she'd probably be very, very unhappy. She'd have a very bad career, and it would be very stressful and sad-making, I imagine. If that were her goal. But fortunately, she's a princess. She has something to fall back on. And I assume Matthew does too. I have no idea what his family status is. I do know that of the 5 children in the Greek royal family, the 5 children of King Constantine II and Queen Anne-Marie, the 3 sons all married like billionaires' daughters for a nice cash infusion. So I'm assuming that the money is bankrolling, the family in general, at least the Miller money from Crown Prince Pavlos's wife, Marie Chantal. That money has gone a long way, from what I understand, toward helping the Greek royal family survive without a country or any other obvious income. I'll say that, obvious income. As for the men who have married into the family, the older sister, Princess Alexia, her husband is an architect, a Spanish architect. I assume he would make okay money, but I don't know about his family. I don't know that they're billionaires. And Matthew, again, he's an attorney, but, what his status is, what his family's status is, I don't think they're billionaires, but obviously he's well off enough that he could go to law school and he could meet a princess in LA and become a member of the Greek royal family. So he's doing okay for himself. And yeah, again, whether or not they will move back to California, I would say maybe not. Is she going to continue acting in any significant capacity? Is he going to practice law ever again? I would bet probably not. They're 40 and 41, he being the younger of the two. Will they start a family? It's a little, they're a little late in the game, but nowadays anything's possible. IVF, adoption, just good old fashioned having babies the usual way. It can happen. I know that Theodora herself and her younger brother Philippos were later in life babies for their mother. So, and maybe that is what they would prefer to focus on. Maybe they will have a family. Who knows? Or maybe they'll just go around the world having great vacations, taking photos, and, filling up their Instagram pages. It remains to be seen. But so this was our one Greek royal wedding update, and then a little bit of a smaller update. I'm going to go back to my page over here so you have a little something better to look at than me trying to pull up a photograph. And so the other thing that I wanted to update from the royal wedding, the Greek royal wedding, took place most recently, and that is that one member of the family, or I guess I should say former member of the family, who did not show up at the wedding was Princess Tatiana, or ex-Princess Tatiana, I guess we can call her. That would be Prince Nicolaus's wife, or ex-wife. I think the divorce is final, but they definitely announced that they are divorcing. And I'm trying to find this photograph. So it's my understanding that Tatiana was indeed invited to Theodora's wedding, which took place in Greece, in Athens. And even though she is separated from Nick, who was, the actual member of the Greek royal family, Tatiana apparently has remained close, at least with her former mother-in-law. And I think it was the day of, or maybe the day after, their separation and impending divorce was announced, Tatiana appeared in public with her mother-in-law, with the Queen. And that's a little unusual that the Queen would appear in public with the woman that her son is divorcing, especially since it was reported that both Tatiana and Nick had moved on with other people, and that they were already seeing, Tatiana was seeing another man, Nick was seeing another woman. And if that's the case, family members usually stick by one another. Rare instances, I can think of one that I know of where the family stays close, or someone in the family, like the mother-in-law, stays close with a former daughter-in-law. But usually that's not the case. Usually, you're going to side with your family member, and even if you're fond of the ex, you put a little distance there for the sake of your own family member. Well, it makes me wonder what exactly went on. I assume that Queen Anne-Marie was quite close with her daughter-in-law, Tatiana. I assume heartbroken that the relationship did not work out. And in this case, Prince Nicolaus and Tatiana, they did not have children. So there is no, that's usually a compelling reason why the in-laws might want to remain friendly with the ex-daughter or son-in-law, for the sake of the grandchildren. In this case, there are no grandchildren. They don't, need to. They don't need to be nice if they don't want to. They don't have to. But in this case, the Queen has chosen to, I guess, stick by her daughter-in-law, which, as I said, makes me wonder, did Nick do something? And is mommy not happy about that? Movie of the week says, I can think of that too. Parents staying in touch with divorced in-laws. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, if you build a relationship with someone over the years and you become close, just because it's like if you have a good friend and they have a friend and they have another friend and you become friends with the second friend that you met through your first friend. If your first friend and the second friend have a falling out, are you obligated to stop being friends with the second person who maybe now you've bonded with? And now you have a friendship independent of the friendship that you have with friend number one. Well, depending on what the falling out is between your two other, friend one and friend two, you may not choose to give up that second friendship. Or maybe it's something terrible and you go, you know what? I'm going to choose my first friend over my second friend. But, one can be mature, but when a divorce is involved, usually, you might not, depending on the circumstances of the split, you might want to distance yourself. It might be awkward or painful or uncomfortable for your own family member to know that you're still in contact with the ex. But everybody is different. Everything, everybody's different. I am trying really hard to find this photo that I saw earlier today, and it is a photograph from Instagram, which I can't access on this computer right now. But, well, okay, since I can't find the photo immediately, and I am still trying, I will just explain. So Tatiana was invited to Theodora's wedding, or supposedly, and she opted not to go, but on that day, she instead summited Mount Olympus and took a photo. It took a selfie atop Mount Olympus on the day that Theodora and Matthew Kumar were getting married in Athens. And, that's a nice for her, nice thing to do, I guess, a challenge. It would otherwise possibly have been a painful day for her. I can't find the photo I'm looking for, so I'm going to put this photo up. That's Tatiana. That's Prince Nick. They have split up, and some other photos. There she is, Tatiana. Very striking. Movie of the week says Mount Olympus is not that tall. I was surprised. Yes, Mount Olympus, it's not like climbing Mount Everest or something like that. It's not the most challenging. You're probably not going to risk your life climbing to the top of Mount Olympus. But nonetheless, it's Mount Olympus. It's where the Greek gods supposedly live. Well, I guess they don't. She went up there. There were no gods. But a very symbolic climb, She's no longer a member of the royal family. Otherwise, she would be at this wedding. Her ex-husband would be there. The joy, the happiness. I'm sure how could it not remind her of her own wedding? The happiness, the sadness. I'm sure it's a difficult time, but she did say gracious things, wishing Theodora and Matthew, the best, from what I understand. But then she posts on Instagram the photo of triumphing over Greece, right? The Greek royal family are down in Athens having their royal wedding with Nick, who I guess done her wrong. And then there she is at the top of Mount Olympus, at the tippy top of Greece, looking down on the Greek family, the Greek royal family, from the abode of the gods, from the heavens themselves. There's a deep symbolism. And I'm assuming that Athens is pretty close to sea level, if not maybe even slightly below. I'm not sure, but I know it's down there, right? Because all the smoke congregates in Athens, does it not? Movie of the week. I think you know this. So obviously there's a lot of symbolism there. And I noticed on the message board that there was some argument over whether or not posting that photograph was rude to do on Theodora's wedding day. As though anyone would care. As though Theodora is sitting there checking her phone in the cathedral, and going, "Oh, how dare Tatiana, how dare my ex-sister-in-law post a photograph of herself on the top of Mount Olympus on my wedding day." I don't think that happened. I don't think anybody cared. Movie of the week says Athens has the same issue as LA. It's a valley with a thermal inversion. Right, and Athens and LA, I guess Matthew and Theodora can be quite at home in the same place, same weather, right? Same kind of smog, and you get some salty air blowing off the ocean, or it's the sea in Greece, the ocean in LA, but yeah, similar vibe, I guess. Not culturally, but you know what I mean. Anyway, um, we were talking about smog. Yeah, so was Tatiana posting this? Was this disrespectful to Theodora on her wedding day, that she was drawing attention away from her? I think it's nonsense. I don't think anyone cares. I can't imagine that anyone is, I mean, anyone looking at Instagram and worrying about any of these people, I don't know why you would, but movie of the week says Athens is hotter than Los Angeles. I guess it depends, right? On the day. Los Angeles can get really hot. They've got all those cars. Not that Athens doesn't have its own traffic. I'm sure it does, but I'm just thinking LA must get crazy out there with all of the buildings and the tall skyscrapers, cars, exhaust, and that sort of thing. Not that Athens wouldn't. I know. But anyway. Okay, so this is our Greek royal wedding update. I really wish I could have found this. I don't, not exactly a thirst trap photo. I wouldn't call it that, of Tatiana on top of Mount Olympus. I can't remember where exactly I saw it. I could have sworn I saw it on that Royal Dish message board, but perhaps I found it somewhere else. But anyway, so I'm taking one last quick look to see if I can find the photo, because it was kind of a cool photo. Let's see. And looking. Can I find it quickly? If I can't find it quickly, I'm going to give up. Okay, and no, I'm not sure where I found it. All right, well, moving on. Actually, I am going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back with my little Goldsmith update. Last stream, I started talking about Zach Goldsmith, aka Baron Goldsmith, who is rumored to be getting married for the third time to the great niece of James Bond author Ian Fleming. And as I mentioned, I was reading the Mail today, and they had a clickbait article, and the title is, "Her director mother brought 50 Shades of Grey to the big screen, while her A-list stepfather is a favorite to play the next James Bond. ... The deadly ellipses." But can you guess whose daughter this is? And this article, here's the headline, and here is the, scroll down. Here's the girl making duck face, I guess, smoochy duck face at the camera. And if you haven't seen already, because the text kind of gave it away, who this girl is, who her famous family members are, we'll talk about that in a second. And what does that have to do with Zach Goldsmith and Ian Fleming and James Bond and his wedding and what we were talking about last stream? And what did I get wrong? I think I said one wrong word last time, and I'll correct myself this time around after my break. Just a few minutes. We will be right back, and we will dive into that article and another one. So I will be back in just a bit. Oh, movie of the week says, is that a Thurman? No, it is not a member of Uma Thurman's family, but I absolutely see what you're saying, and she totally looks like she could be Uma Thurman's daughter, even though Uma Thurman's daughter doesn't quite look like that. If you've ever seen Uma Thurman's older daughter, the one that acts, Ethan Hawke's daughter, doesn't quite look like that, but I see what you're getting at. Good guess, but completely wrong. I will give you the answer when I come back in just a few minutes. Hello, hello, hello. And we are back. This is French Dip Empire. I am the Empress, and we are talking updates, the Greek royal wedding, and Baron Goldsmith and his glowy engagement, or alleged, rumored engagement. And here is the picture. I found the photograph that I was talking about before the break. And here it is. Hi, Movie of the Week. This is Princess Tatiana, the former Tatiana Blotnick, which is her handle on Instagram. She is not using the Princess of Greece title. And here she is on Mount Olympus. And it says, I love to write. It's how I express myself best. But climbing Mount Olympus left me a bit silent on the way back down the mountain, walking through the, quote, forest of silence, unquote. I listened to my steps, and it was quiet. Even I was quiet. That internal voice we all have was just a silent, calm whisper, and I felt peaceful, clear, and unbelievably grateful. Grateful most of all for life flowing so beautifully, and how almost unexpectedly I finally made it to Mount Olympus after years of wanting to go. We all have our mountains to climb in life. Mount Olympus is a challenge to get up, but like everything in life, it's definitely worth it when you get to the top. The view, the feeling. There is nothing, and it goes on, but I'm not logged in, so I can't keep reading it. Well, that's sort of a little bit of a come down, but anyway, there she is. I wonder who took the photo. It does look like she's standing on top of the world. Look at that. Movie of the Week says, but do we all have an internal voice? I don't know. I don't know, Movie of the Week. What did you have for breakfast? So here are her lovely photos. Oh, there she is. But boy, look at that pose. Miss Thing. I don't know who the guy is. And there she is again. And whoa. Oh, gosh. Well, that's a little nauseating. Or at least vertigo-inducing. I don't know if you can see this video. I hope it's okay to show this. Oh, there's sound. Am I allowed to put the sound on? I can't hear that myself. I hope she's not swearing or saying any awful words. I doubt it. Although if she's doing it in Greek, I wouldn't necessarily understand. I'm playing this again because I couldn't hear it. Let's see. Will it go again? Oh, and the last photo. Let's see. Can I do it again? It won't play it again. I want it to play again. What's that? Oh, no, that didn't do it. Okay. Well, you can tell I'm not exactly the Instagram expert. And I'm not ashamed in the least. Wow. Yeah, it's a great view, though, right? It looks, as much as you dissed it, Movie of the Week, as not being super tall. It looks pretty high up there. I don't know what the elevation of Mount Olympus is, but here, let's see. I'll look it up since I have Wikipedia open. Mount Olympus. Did I spell that correctly? Yes. No, not in Washington, the United States, in Greece itself. It is highest point, yes, Mytikas or Mytikas. That's where she was. It was labeled. The elevation is just under 10,000 feet, 9,572.60 feet. So there you go. That's pretty high. Whatever that rock is, practically all of the Peloponnesus is made of it. Yeah. Well, let's see. It will probably tell you in this article what is Mount Olympus made of. Well, if I can't find it quickly, I'm going to move on. Geology, that's it. Sedimentary rock laid down 200 million years ago in a shallow sea. Well, it got a lot shallower, huh? Okay. So that's pretty much all it says. Sedimentary rock. So yeah, that's pretty tough. Pretty hard. It is rock. Okay, there you go. There you go. Movie of the Week. That's the peak. That's That's where Tatiana was, right up there, right there. Let's see, if we zoom in, can we see, oh, is that little thing? That little, whoa, okay, that's the sky. And let's see if we could see all the way up at the top, that little thing she was standing next. Oh, we're not at the top. There, that thing. That's the thingy in her photo. I don't know what that is, but that was it. Let me go back to the photo with the thingy. A real technical term. The milestone, the marker. Ask Dr. Empress. Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, my doctorate in Wikipedia, looking things up on the internet. I'm a doctor of Googling. I'll take it. Dr. Empress Doctor, Lady Dr. Empress Doctor, Professor, Her Imperial Majesty, Professor Dr. Reverend Empress. How many honorifics can I add on? So there's the thing, if you can see. I'm pointing at it with my actual hand, which you cannot see. There's the marker that I think that Tatiana is standing next to at the Mytikas peak on Mount Olympus, almost 10,000 feet up. So congratulations to Tatiana. She did it. She made it happen. Good for her. So there you go. Some people thought that was a little bit of an FU to the royal wedding that took place, a little bit of an FU to the Greek royal family or to Princess Theodora, but I don't think that's it at all. I think this is her triumph. What else do you do when your husband has dumped you and the entire family is getting married, or the entire family is at a big wedding in the capital of the country, and it's a big, you were invited, but you're not going to go. What do? Oh, go climb Mount Olympus. Okay, it's symbolic. Let's let her have her W, okay? Good for you. I don't think it took anything away from Theodora's wedding. And if anything, we're going to take something away from Theodora's wedding, it would be Matthew and his quote-unquote legal troubles, which don't seem to honestly be that troubling. He didn't look troubled. So I'm going to say that I don't think Theodora cared. I don't think it was a diss to Theodora. And I don't think that Queen Anne-Marie would be hanging out with her ex-daughter-in-law if her ex-daughter-in-law were rude to her actual daughter. Movie of the week says, yep, better climb a mountain. Well, honestly, if I had a husband and we were splitting up and I was feeling bad about myself on the day of a family wedding, I don't think I'd climb a mountain because I'm not looking to put myself through more stress and more pressure, but to each their own. Movie of the week, as you know, I am not the mountain climbing type. I climb internal mountains, not so much external ones. I climb a lot of stairs, though. I get my steps in a less harsh environment internally. Internally and interiorly. I'll let you parse that one. So moving on, back to the Zach Goldsmith story. So I wish I had read this article in the last stream that I did. I started to do the deep dive, as we do, going down the rabbit holes of articles and connections, and I try not to read too much of these articles before I actually read them online so that I can have more of an honest and genuine reaction. So I forgot to read this online. And this was the article that I should have started off the last stream with, and that is this Daily Mail article, exclusive, You Only Wed Thrice, which is clearly a reference to You Only Live Twice? The James Bond movie and book by Ian Fleming. And so why the reference? Zach Goldsmith to marry again, this time to Ian Fleming's great niece. Just a the deadly ellipses again. Just a year after Tory minister separated from ex-wife. So Tory minister, to parse that for non-Brits, that means that he was in the government and minister, not religious minister, governmental minister. It is the UK. And Tory, he's, well, conservative. You only live twice. Right. Is that Connery? Is that a Connery movie? I'm not as up on the Sean Connery James Bond movies as I am on some of the later ones, but I've probably seen it. I think I've seen almost all of the James Bond movies. Okay, so back to the article. Now here's a picture of Zach looking like maybe he borrowed his girlfriend's hat, and that's quite a shirt. I guess they're on vacation. And then there's on the left here, that is Hum Fleming. Yes, I said Hum, H-U-M. And I can't say I admire her outfit with the dress and the shoes, but I can say that the Frida Kahlo handbag is pretty spiffy. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a woven handbag, and it's in the shape of Frida Kahlo's head. It has black hair and a black handle, and it has roses on top of the head and a tan face. It looks like there are earrings, red lipstick, and a prominent black unibrow. You know, the way a child draws a seagull, that little like arc kind of thing. That's Frida Kahlo's unibrow on this handbag. I like it. It's very cute. But anyway, I don't think your handbag should be the cutest thing of your outfit, but in this case, she does have a very cute handbag. So this is Zach, this is Hum, and I'll get to the article. This is the text. Having separated from his second wife only last year, Zach Goldsmith might be expected to take things rather slowly when it comes to romance. His latest girlfriend has, however, left the former Tory minister so shaken and stirred, James Bond reference, that he has already popped the question. The Daily Mail can disclose that Lord Goldsmith, 49, has got engaged to Hum Fleming, 34, whose great-uncle was James Bond author Ian Fleming. They are engaged, a friend confirmed last night. Hum was wearing a big sparkler on a night out in Mayfair this week and said she and Zach were to be married. Well, you know, that's a nice way to get it's a very cheap way to get a very expensive engagement announcement. Just have a friend, wink, wink, leak it, wink, wink, to a Daily Mail writer, and you've now announced your engagement to all of your friends and family and everyone else that you might want to know, and the rest of the world that might not care, that you're getting married without actually having to send out the emails, place the phone calls, send out the, engraved, nice, fine, stationery, announcements. You could just wait for the actual wedding invitations to go out. Save some money, save some time, save some energy, leak it to the Daily Mail, if you can even call that a leak, and then have them write an article about you. You know, I guess it's a good technique if you can swing it. If you're famous enough, you can make that happen too. That's my tip there, famous people. If you didn't already know that, celebrities, just leak your news to the writer and have them quote you as a friend. That's how government and business does it, except that's usually a source confirmed. In this case, it's a friend. Okay, so I was wearing a big sparkler. I mean, Hum was wearing a big sparkler. I'm just kidding. I'm not saying it's her. Okay, so, all right. And then, yes, that's Hum and that's Zach. And now we're going to go back in time. This is baby Zach with his first wife, who he left many years ago. That's Scheherazade. What an exotic name, Scheherazade. Yes, daughter of actress, and I'm using that term a little loosely, Vivian Ventura. That's a heck of a name, is it not? The alliteration is just a part of how awesome the name Vivian Ventura is. I don't want to, it sounds like a fictional name, but it's a good fictional name. And financier John Bentley. The pair have 3 children together. Indeed, they do. And here, where did my wiki page go? Oh, I clicked it away. Okay, well, we don't need Tatiana, so I will use her tab to pull up my Wikipedia page. Really, Scheherazade? Yes, her name is Scheherazade, and she is one of the least exotic people that could bear such an exotic name. I mean, she is a lovely looking lady. I'm not trying to insult her in any way by saying she's not exotic looking. But I'm just saying that when your name is Scheherazade, it kind of conjures up a certain image that, let me see, this is a fun name to spell. Goldsmith. Okay, here you go. Here she is. And, as I said, I'm sure she's a perfectly lovely person. I'm not trying to insult her or demean her in any way by saying that she just looks like a lady and does not strike me as exotical to the point of bearing the name Scheherazade. It's a bit of a name to burden a child with, especially if it is not, say, your culture. And in her case, it's really not. But whatever. I can't imagine what it's like when one gets saddled with a name that your parent decides is a great name, so interesting, and then I don't think she spells it with a C. Movie of the week. I think it's just. Well, here you can see she has her own Wikipedia page. No, doesn't really live up to it. Well, it's a bit much, as I said. It's a bit much to give a small child, but I assume that she's good at spelling. So there's that. And hey, it's always cool to have a Z in your name, right? And she got one. So no, she spells it S-H-E, not S-C-H-E. And yes. So kind of an interesting background. Yes, her dad was a rich man, a wealthy man, and her mother was a British actress. Again, I'm going to use that term loosely. Oh, well, good Lord, I didn't know this. I have clicked, or rather, I have rolled over a link here on the Wikipedia, a source link, and so I was right the first time. Yes, movie of the week, you were right with your spelling the first time. You were right. And it says it's an article from 1995 of The Independent, UK. Predator turned prodigal son, John Bentley, profile. Well, that sounds a bit spicy. I'm going to have to get back to that a little later, but yes, Scheherazade. Now, I would have to look this up. I have a feeling her mother was a bit of a lady about town, shall we say. She was an actress that you probably have never heard of. Although, I take it back. Movie of the week, I have a treat for you. I think you may have actually not only heard in a roundabout sort of way of Vivian Ventura, Scheherazade Goldsmith's mother, but I believe you have seen, here, one sec, I'm pulling up, oh yes, I am good at typing. I'm going to pull up her IMDb page, Vivian Ventura, actress. Here she is, a Colombian-British actress, model, and socialite. Yes, model, actress, and socialite. And I would like movie of the week to draw your attention to this credit. Oh, where is it? I know she was in this movie. Where is it? Oh, she was in the Beatles movie, Help. Look at that. One of the Carry On movies. And some TV. The Saint with, a James Bond. Roger Moore. Roger Moore starred as the Saint. So there's another James Bond connection. That's funny. The Wild Wild West. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Get Smart. Where is it this one? No. What was that movie? Okay, well, again, I'm going to have to come back to this. I'm pretty sure she was in a movie that I know you, movie of the week, have seen, but I can't find it in her list. Her IMDb list. I'm going to have to come back to that because I know she was in this movie. I'm dated the Sultan of Brunei. Well, there you go. And I've just proved my point with IMDb trivia. Dated the Sultan of Brunei. She had a daughter, Jasmine, born in 1968 by her husband, property developer Frank Duggan, and later a daughter, the British environmentalist Scheherazade Goldsmith, by financier John Bentley, who I don't believe they were married, and she dated the Sultan of Brunei. Okay. Are you getting the... Oh, movie of the week. Movie of the week, she a hoe. Well, it may be past tense movie of the week, but yes, I think you're on to something. Oh, wait, she was 99. No. Vivian Ventura was not 99 in Get Smart. Vivian Ventura, 99 was played by Barbara Feldon, the actress Barbara Feldon. No, she was in Get Smart. She played Consuela Merendez in 2 episodes of Get Smart. So no, but I'm going to come back to this because I don't want to go too far into the weeds on this one. So Scheherazade was Zach's first wife, and she did a little writing. And when she was married to Zach, she started with a friend an organic deli. I remember when that was a thing. And that didn't last long. As you see, she was pregnant with her first child. They started the organic deli together in 2000. And then after the birth of her second child in 2002, she shut it down. And she's written books. She's into the organic thing, blah, 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 blah. Environmentalism, philanthropy, all that rich ladies kinds of stuff. And so what's more interesting, remember I said connections. So in 1999, Scheherazade married Zach Goldsmith. They have 3 children, daughters Uma, however they pronounce that, Tira. I've heard it pronounced different ways depending on your nationality or your preference. And son James, named obviously after his paternal grandfather, Sir Jimmy Goldsmith, who I found a great article on, and I want to read that, but we're not going to have time to do that now. The couple separated in 2009 and divorced in 2010. So what did Scheherazade do after that? Well, from 2011 to 2018, she dated Alfonso Cuarón, who is the award-winning filmmaker. He's won 5 Oscars, 7 BAFTAs, 3 Golden Globes. What movies did he do? Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. He did Gravity. He won 2 Oscars. He won an Oscar for Gravity, or at least one. He did Children of Men. He did a lot of movies, and you've probably seen some of them. Let's see. I was going to scroll down to his... is that another? Oh, no. Clive Owen. No, Clive Owen wasn't a James Bond, right? It's, what's his face? The other guy with the big head. Oh, no. Daniel Craig, right? He's the last James Bond. This is relevant because we're going to come back to who's the next James Bond speculation with these people. So, okay. So Scheherazade dated Alfonso Cuarón and... Oh, Y Tu Mama Tambien. That's right. That was like, I guess the first movie he got a lot of attention for that was like really hot. So she dated Alfonso Cuarón, and since 2021... she's been in a relationship with this guy. Oh, that's a bad photo. And I didn't realize he'd shaved his head bald. Matthew Freud, who we mentioned either in that... I can't remember which stream I was talking about Matthew Freud. Matthew Freud, whose second ex-wife is Elizabeth Murdoch, Rupert's daughter. And... his previous wife, prior to marrying Liz Murdoch, he was married to Caroline, aka Pidge, who became one of Earl Spencer's ex-wives, as this line in his Wikipedia bio explains. Yes, Caroline Hutton. They had 2 sons, and then Caroline married Earl Spencer, and then they got divorced. Movie of the week says, never saw Y Tu Mama, but my friends said it was good. Well, yeah, lots of people said it was good. I have not seen it, but I have heard it is good. Okay, so that's Scheherazade. She and Zach have 3 children together. They divorced. She dated Alfonso Cuarón, and she's with Matthew Freud. It is a very, very small world. Like, if celebrities and socialites in the United States date one another like anything, London, they act like they're not allowed to date anyone outside of their like social pool. There's so much in dating. It's like it's almost like teenagers, like how teenagers or very, very young people will sometimes have like a little group and everybody ends up dating everybody else. Like they switch partner, like, oh, I'll date you, then I'll date you. That's kind of like London. So, I mean, I guess any little social group is like that. But the London jet set, I don't know. They feel very insular. I guess they feel comfortable with one another. So they all just date amongst themselves. I guess it makes the school pickups easy. They all share kids with one another. So back to Zach. I'll get back to the article, and because I have a feeling the article is going to explain his marital history more concisely than I could on my own. Pardon me. So, we're going to talk about Hum, not about his second wife. Hum, a public relations executive in the fashion and lifestyle sector, is a member of the Fleming private banking dynasty, once run by her father, Roddy. She has spoken publicly about the epilepsy she has suffered since her teenage years, with bouts of seizures, both convulsive ones when she fits, and absent seizures that leave her unable to move or speak. Well, that's just horrible. And having had the pleasure of having 2 puppies with epilepsy, I understand how difficult and painful and awkward that can be. And that's too bad. Okay, in March last year, the Mail disclosed that Lord Goldsmith, that's Zach, had split from his second wife, Alice Rothschild, 41, who he married in 2013. Their spokesman said at the time, Alice and Zach have made the difficult decision to separate. They do so amicably and are committed to jointly raising their 3 children in a happy and healthy environment. Friends of the couple insisted that no one else was involved, but before they were married, their relationship was the subject of a tabloid expose. Don't I love them? Because Scheherazade Bentley was still Lord Goldsmith's wife. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. And this is Zach with his second wife, Alice Rothschild. As it says, they were married in 2013. Now I'm going to go back to Wikipedia just so we can keep up on the family tree. So that's, you see over here, Alice Miranda Rothschild, married 2013, separated 2023. Zach has 6 children, and I'm scrolling down to the personal section, family and personal life, and okay, 2013, yes. He married banking heiress Alice Rothschild, yes, those Rothschilds, daughter of the late Amschel Rothschild, and his wife, Anita Patience Guinness, of the Guinness Brewery family. So there's beer money in that family, too. And so with Scheherazade, Zach had Uma, Tira, however they pronounce it, and James. And then with Alice Rothschild, he had 3 more children. They have daughters Dolly and Edie, and then middle child is son Max. A point of interest is that Alice's sister Kate used to be married to Zach's younger brother Ben Goldsmith. And they have a few kids, or had a few children together, and then they split up. It was a big tabloid thing. I mentioned this briefly on the last stream, but when we do more of our deep dive on the Goldsmith family, I will get into that and read some of the articles that happened around the time, because it was the breakup between Ben Goldsmith and Kate Rothschild was a tabloid thing. She was cheating. There was violence. It was crazy. So we'll get into that on another stream in the near future. but just nailing down. So Zach has 3 kids with Scheherazade, 3 kids with Alice Rothschild. They split up. Oh, and the other sibling of the 3 Rothschild siblings, there's Kate, who was married to Ben Goldsmith, Alice, who was married to Zach Goldsmith, and then the other brother, and I'm going to click just to show you, this is their father, Amschel. Their other brother, and I'll scroll down because it'll show you, he's also called James, and he is married to Nikki Hilton. That's Paris's sister, and they have a few children together. So all these names, all these people, it must be fun at the holidays when everyone's around well, I guess they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, being mostly British, but when they get around the Christmas or what have you table, and all of these, it's musical chairs, musical partners. It's interesting. They live interesting lives, and that's why it's fun to read about it. So that's Zach, and that's Alice, and then back to the text. So Lord Goldsmith was also said to be linked to pop singer Ellie Goulding. He and his first wife, Scheherazade, 50, daughter of actress Vivian Ventura and financier John Bentley, have 3 children. The announcement of their divorce came 4 months after Lord Goldsmith, an aspiring MP, that being Member of Parliament, British Parliament, at the time, was reportedly told by senior Tories to resolve any conflict in his love life. Oops. Spank. Stop cheating on your wife. Okay, sure, I'll do that. And it worked. Okay, now here's Zach with Ellie Goulding, who at the time was married. You might notice that he seems to have a type. Ellie, Kate, and Hum, who looks brunette here, but I've seen other photos where she looks blonder. And Scheherazade, who has darker hair here, and her hair has actually gone quite dark, but was lighter, and actually she was blonde a lot of the time. So I'm going to say Zach has a type. Okay, going back, there's Ellie. Okay, Zach's relationship with Alice, the daughter of financier Amschel Rothschild, started in 2006. Friends insisted he had agonized over leaving his wife. Well, maybe he agonized over leaving her. He didn't agonize over cheating on her. Didn't seem like that was too much agony for him. Lord Goldsmith is the son of billionaire tycoon Sir James, who memorably commented, "When a man marries his mistress, he creates a vacancy." What a charmer. Aged 20, Jimmy Goldsmith eloped with 18-year-old Maria Isabel Patino, heiress to a tin mining fortune, in January 1954, but she tragically died that May in pregnancy. The couple's child, also Isabel, survived. He married second wife, Secretary Ginette Léry, in 1963, and they had a son and daughter, but they divorced, and he married Lady Annabel Burleigh in 1978. With her, he had daughter Jemima and sons Zach and Ben. And they're not mentioning the other children that he had subsequently with his French mistress after that. An aristocratic French mistress, as a matter of fact. But again, we're going to have to get back to Jimmy Goldsmith and his many wives and loves and children on another stream. That's a story for another time. Movie of the week, Classy Fellow Sir Jimmy. You know, I know he had his issues, but I have to say, he was interesting and he was charming. I don't approve of his behavior personally. I don't approve of his behavior in business, but I do find him fascinating. I do find him entertaining. I have a feeling that he might have been an interesting person to, sit at have a dinner party with. I would not want to be his romantic partner. I would not want to be his wife. I wouldn't want to be the target of his business interests. And I don't know that I would want to be his child either. I mean, hey, the money looks great, but Don't know. But, hey, meeting him at a dinner party, that would have been fantastic. I would have loved to have a conversation with Jimmy Goldsmith. Charming, not tedious. Charming people, well, they can be tedious, but not necessarily boring, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They can be tedious, but not necessarily boring. I know that sounds like a contradiction, but I think you catch my drift. Movie of the week. So this was the original article that tipped off my whole, the Goldsmiths and how interesting and wonderful they can be. Now, the article that I saw today that looped back into this, and something I mentioned on the last Goldsmith stream that I wanted to correct, because I'm pretty sure that I accidentally said, and I knew I was wrong at the time. I knew it didn't make any sense, that Ellie Goulding's husband, or estranged husband, divorced, I'm not sure what their status is right now. We'll check that out. That Ellie Goulding's, at the time, husband, Casper Jopling, was the son of Jay Jopling. That's not right. He's the nephew of Jay Jopling. And if you're wondering, wait, who are these people? Who are you talking about? Hopefully you know, but if you don't know, let me go to this article that I teased before the break. And the headline was, her director mother brought 50 Shades of Grey to the big screen, while her A-list stepfather is favorite to play the next James Bond, ... But can you guess whose daughter this is? Her mother is a famous director who hit the headlines this year for her controversial Amy Winehouse biopic. Well, obviously that's Sam Taylor Johnson. While her father is an English art dealer whose nephew was previously married, they are divorced, to singer Ellie Goulding. And that's, Jay Jopling. And her stepdad is one of Hollywood's most handsome leading men, with a string of huge blockbusters under his belt, and that would be Aaron Johnson, or I think he calls himself Taylor Johnson now, since his marriage. The teenager celebrated turning 18 on Tuesday, with her filmmaker mom taking to Instagram to share a slew of unseen photos and sweet tribute. She wrote, 18, red heart emoji. My darling Phoenix, red heart emoji. Happy birthday. You're everything and more. I love you. I am so proud to be your mummy. The post received likes and comments from a number of famous faces, including Minnie Driver, remember her, the actress? David Furnish, Mr. Elton John to you, and, quote, fellow ginger, unquote, Isla Fisher, the former or soon-to-be ex-Mrs., what's his name? Borat. Sacha Baron Cohen. I don't think she looks ginger. I think, not Isla. Isla's ginger, or redheaded, but I think the Jopling girl here looks blonde. To me, not ginger, but maybe it's lighting. Can you guess who her mother is? Well, I've already told you who her mother is. It's Sam Taylor Johnson. And movie of the week, you had commented that you thought that this was Uma Thurman's daughter, Maya, the one who's on Stranger Things, the Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter. But, and I can tell because that's Maya Thurman Hawke. And she does actually look quite like the Jopling girl. And as a matter of fact, if you told me that was the same person with longer hair, dyed lighter, and with the smooch face, I could see that. But nope. This is Maya Thurman Hawke, the actress. And this is, what's her name, Jopling. Oh, okay, there she looks more ginger. The hair color is, she's clearly bleaching her hair. Happy birthday, fellow ginger. How about her name? Her name is indeed Phoenix. That wasn't like a nickname. Her name is Phoenix Jopling. The other, let's see, I think the only other celebrity child I know named Phoenix is the daughter that Eddie Murphy has with Scary Spice. I'm pretty sure, no, that's not the Eddie baby. That's Mel's baby with, I think, her husband or whatever, Jimmy Gulzar, right? She has a daughter named Phoenix Chi. I think that was from, was that from that Stephen Belafonte guy. I don't remember. Anyway, Scary Spice has a kid named Phoenix, and this woman has a kid named Phoenix. Oh yeah, they look similar, says Movie of the Week. Yeah. I have a, like, one of my little fun, like, things is crazy baby names of celebrities. So I guess Phoenix isn't a crazy baby name, but it's certainly unusual. So anyway, this is Phoenix Jopling, and her mother is Sam Taylor Johnson, the artist turned director. And they explain Phoenix Jopling is the youngest daughter of Sam Taylor Johnson and her ex-husband Jay Jopling, who also share Angelica, 27. So they have another daughter, right? Sam, 57, and Jay, 61, tied the knot in 1997 and were married for 11 years until their split in September 2008. Sam, that's a woman, has helmed several huge films, including 2015's infamous adaptation of 50 Shades of Grey, starring Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan. She was chosen over huge names like Angelina Jolie, Steven Soderbergh, and Ryan Murphy to bring the steamy romance bestseller to screens. However, Sam chose not to direct the film's sequels after having a number of disagreements with author E.L. James, and later admitted she regretted directing the saucy flick. More recently, she directed Back to Black, a biopic about the life of the late singer Amy Winehouse, who tragically died from alcohol poisoning aged just 27 in 2011. However, the film attracted significant controversy prior to its release. Okay, I don't care about the Amy Winehouse movie, no offense. Okay, so that's, I guess, Phoenix Jopling and her mom. And I wanted to point out, okay, so this, the blonde lady, that's Sam Taylor Johnson. That's Phoenix's mommy. And no, that's not her son that she's supporting in these pictures. That's her second husband. That's Aaron before. That's Aaron after. And how they met. I mean, this is kind of well known, and a lot of people think it's weird and think it's creepy. And the word grooming has definitely come about. And for some reason, I think because it's an older lady and a younger man, it for some reason flies a little bit more under the radar as being weird and creepy, but not really. So if you were wondering, Sam Taylor Johnson, born Taylor Wood. Taylor Wood is her hyphenated maiden surname. Then she was married to Jay Jopling, and then she got married to Aaron, who's Aaron Johnson. So she hyphenated her name, but rather than make it a triple-barreled surname, she just changed the double barrel and went from Taylor Wood to Taylor Johnson. And then Aaron hyphenated his name, so he's got the double-barreled Taylor Johnson name. Now, I think they should have just hyphenated everything, added it all together. If you're going to have a triple-barrel name, go for the if you're going to have a double-barreled surname already, I say go for the triple barrel. It's always more impressive. You could even go for a fourth if you get married to somebody else later, or maybe if you have a kid, then they can tack on even more names. It's great. Just keep hyphenating forever until your surname is as long as like a Welsh town name or some really cool German word where they just strung all the words together to create the new word. So they could have been Taylor Wood Johnson, which, I mean, that's just funny. Taylor Wood Johnson? Taylor Wood Johnson. I'm not explaining it. Oh, Robert Wood Johnson? Yes, Movie of the Week in the chat is making a joke about Robert Wood Johnson, the member of the Johnson and Johnson family, right? Robert Wood Johnson, yes. Having the name Wood and Johnson in your name is fourth grade funny. Third grade funny, I guess. Third grade? That's about the age. I don't know. Second grade? It's primary school funny. But anyway, so Sam Taylor Wood, Taylor Johnson, whatever. Born 1967, that makes her 57 now, almost 58. Aaron was born in 1990. He's 34. He was born in 1990. She was born in 1967. She's significantly older than him. Like, old enough to be his mommy, but she's his wife. And yes, men do this all the time, and we call it creepy and gross usually. Yeah. And you know, he was born in 1990. Her own children, sorry, I'm scrolling down. Do they say? Born in 1997 and 2005. Her daughters. So her elder daughter is 7 years younger than her husband. I don't call this female empowerment. I call it creepy. And if you've ever seen a picture, and I don't want to go looking for one right now because I simply don't want to take the time, a picture of Aaron with like Phoenix and Angelica. I actually guess it's Angelica because she's the older, I think, the elder of the two. It looks weird. And it does look like, how is your... Remember when Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher were married? Remember that weird scenario? And you could see like Ashton with Demi's daughters, her daughters with Bruce Willis. And it was like they were almost closer in age. And it seems weird to have a dude who's that close in age. Whatever. It's just all weird. I'm not going to... I don't care. I don't care if I seem like a prude. They're weird. It's weird. I'm not the only one who thinks this, and I stand by. It's weird. So that's Sam and Aaron. Back in the day, they met when she cast him in a movie, and, you know, he was a teenager. It's just all strange. Teenagers, as a grown-ass woman myself, teenage boys are not attractive. I don't care. And if anyone looks at this and goes, but she's getting a hot guy, stop it. He was a kid. That's gross. And you need to check yourself seriously. So there they are. And this was Sam with Jay Jopling. And look at the look on his face. That is the look of a man whose wife is going to leave him and take up with a teen boy. Look at that face. Look at those eyes. I wish I could zoom in more. Look at those eyes. Yep. Look at her face. Oh, very self-satisfied. Look at him. Oh no. Yes, thank you, movie of the week. It's weird. So that's Jay Jopling. Now, I want to show you I think this is funny. If you're watching, watch right now as I switch to the next picture. See that? That's Ellie Goulding, and that's Casper Jopling, Jay's nephew. And they were married, but then they split up because she was running around with Zach Goldsmith. Now, doesn't this look like alternative universe them? Like, them, right? Is his name Baxter? No, his name is not Baxter. It's Casper. Casper, like the friendly ghost, but spelled slightly differently. This looks like one of those... Okay, see, that's Sam, formerly Taylor Wood, and Jay Jopling. It's like, I'm going to tell my grandchildren that this was... Sam and Jay. Yeah, I know obviously his nephew is going to look like him, but I think it's weird that Ellie Goulding, she doesn't exactly really look, I mean, their noses are very different and whatnot, but it's weirdly like similar-ish. Can you see that? Can you see that movie of the week? Yeah, alternate reality. So there you go. So that's Casper, that's Ellie, and just, I don't know what's going on with the Jopling men. Maybe try different glasses, but this is the face. These are the faces of men whose wives are going to cuck them. And that's, I feel sad. I feel sad for them. That's just awful. So, anyway. So, yeah, Ellie, oh, no. I wanted to go back to Ellie Goulding. Oh, wait, here. Okay, so Jay Jopling. And who Jay Jopling is, he's a massive art dealer. Yeah, see, English art dealer and gallerist. He's huge. His dad, well, look there. His dad was a baron and a Tory politician. He was huge, or I guess he's still big, but like back in the day, Jay Jopling was just, I mean, massive. And Sam was a, well-known and fashionable artist like the way, Damien Hirst and Tracy, artists like that kind of art. She then moved on to doing, films, and now I'm a director. So you could see Jay Jopling. Yeah, I mean, look at the names of who he's Lucian Freud, Gilbert and George. There's Tracy, his wife, or his ex-wife, Damien Hirst, Jake and Dinos Chapman, blah, blah, blah. So anyone who knows the art world, those are the big names. You probably recognize some of the other names that I'm not mentioning that are listed on there. So anyway, and named one of GQ's 50 best-dressed British men in 2015. Well, show me one of the best-dressed men in Britain, and I'll show you the woman that doesn't want to, well, you know. But anyway, he moved on, so I guess he's got a new wife and a new child, I suppose. And Paddle 8. Of course he's invested in Paddle 8. Paddle 8, one of the York girls worked for them. Beatrice, Eugenie, I can't remember. Oh, and Paddle 8, right, of course, was founded by Alexander, how do you say that? It's like Jilkies. Anyone who follows like the lesser British royals and whatnot would be familiar with this guy. Jilkis, I think that's how you pronounce it. Alexander. If you notice here, Alex was married to Misha Nonu, who was one of the, I think, 3 people credited with matchmaking the Sussexes. And then they split up, and he is currently with Maria Sharapova, the former tennis player who, did she used to date what's-his-face? Probably. You're like, who? What's-his-face? Yes, of course she dated what's-his-face. So anyway, he's with Maria Sharapova, and they have a kid together now. But yeah, Paddle 8 is one of those, socialite type art things. All art is socialite in some level, but anyway, so names, connections. You see how they all sort of loop back into, one another, and they all know one another, they all hang out with one another, they all marry and date one another, and they all cheat on one another so that we have content. So Jay Jopling, he moved on. There's Sam and Aaron, and what was the next? Oh, right, Casper Jopling and Ellie Goulding. So don't they have a nice link I could click so I don't have to? No, they don't. Okay, here, I'll just look up Ellie, and then we'll get the dates of when she and Casper Goulding. Oh, it's Goulding, not Goulding. Well, I don't listen to her music, so. Yeah, they married in 2019, separated this year, and oh dear, they actually do have a child. I didn't think they had any kids together. That's worse. Oh, well. Well, so Ellie was, I guess she didn't want to be the new Baroness, or maybe Zach just wasn't that into her. What baby did they have? Arthur Everwinter Jopling. That's a weird name. Everwinter? I mean, hey, I like the season, but I don't think I'd want it forever. Yes, and as you can see, Ellie Goulding, is close friends with Princess Beatrice of York. Now, I have to look this up for a second. I'm pretty sure, which one was it? It was one of the York girls worked for Paddle 8. Well, anyway, I'll just stick with that. One of them worked for Paddle 8, so you could see the milieu that we're talking about here. And Casper, I thought, also worked in art. I'm sure it just said, and I just clicked away from it, right? Yeah. Scroll down. One moment. And is the grandson, right. Oh, it just says boyfriend. Well, anyway, do I have yeah, here you go. Here was the article that came out around that time. This is, July 2023. Newly single Ellie Goulding has become friendly, quote unquote, with millionaire Tory Zach Goldsmith, working class singer and Eton-educated peer who was also going through a marriage split, formed unlikely bond over shared love of the environment, friends reveal. I'm sure that's what they connected on. Okay. When he resigned from the government last week, Zach Goldsmith savaged Rishi Sunak for being apathetic towards the environment. Probably because he has bigger things to worry about, I'm guessing, but... Anyway, but while he feels his pleas to save the planet have fallen on deaf ears in Westminster, the millionaire Tory peer has found an unexpected ally in the form of pop star Ellie Goulding, with sources saying the pair are friendly, which I think is a colloquialism for another word that starts with F. The two have maintained an unlikely bond over their shared love of green issues, despite their wildly different upbringings. Zach is the Eton-educated son of late billionaire financier Sir James Goldsmith. Ooh, it's kind of a diss that they mention that Sir Jimmy was a billionaire, but Zach's only a millionaire. Uh-oh, what'd you do wrong, buddy? Politics and playing the field as opposed to trying to get some interest accumulating on that money, I suppose. While Ellie was raised by a, quote, super poor, unquote, single mother on a Herefordshire council estate. Yesterday's Daily Mail revealed that Ms. Goulding, 36, and her art dealer husband, there you go, he is an art dealer. Gee, how'd you get into that job, Casper? Husband, Casper Jopling, 31, have been living separate lives for at least 6 months, despite trying to stick together for the sake of their 2-year-old son, Arthur. A 2-year-old. And they've been separated for 6 months. I don't think that's trying very hard, but okay. Maybe one of them tried, maybe the other did. I'd say the lady stepping out with the with the separated man is maybe not trying as hard as she can, but who knows? We don't know. Maybe Casper's a naughty boy. Oh boy, look at these two. They look very mismatched. And he needs to button up that shirt. One more button, please. He looks very put upon. Ugh. Kind of a... put upon. I guess that's my statement. Put upon. And then she's wearing a pleather outfit that doesn't look like it. It feels like that would be sweaty, uncomfortable. I guess foundation garments probably are important when you're wearing mostly full body pleather. He needs to brush his hair. Head hair or chest hair movie of the week, because I think both could use a little bit of a combing. Yeah, he needs his hair combed. You could tell his wife doesn't love him. She's letting him out of the house looking like that. No self-respecting wife would let her husband leave the house with that hair. Okay, and then there's a picture of Zach with Kate, ex-wife number 2. Okay. And we don't need to see that video. Okay, continuing. And Mr. Goldsmith, 48, is also going through a marriage split with his divorce from second wife Alice. One sec. Okay. After more than a decade together, expected soon. But the stronger common link between the two is their passion for the environment. They first met at the UN Climate Change Conference COP26 or COP26 in Glasgow in November 2021 and kept in contact. 7 months later, they were spotted enjoying a lunch together at upmarket cafe The Garden in Covent Garden, central London, and were later seen at the Wolseley restaurant in Mayfair. In October 2022, they spent the evening at the same party at the exclusive London members club Lulu's at 5 Hertford Street, and just weeks later, they were reunited for the next Global Climate Change Summit, COP27, in Egypt. Was the Daily Mail stalking this couple? How do they know, though? Well, and they had lunch here, and who cares? Okay, writing about the event in The Guardian, the singer praised her friend. I attended dinner with environment ministers and their teams from all over the world, convened by the UK's Zach Goldsmith. You could tell they were tired, but plowing on. What amazes me about this group is that they never stop trying to get a better deal for nature. One friend told the Mail on Sunday, Ellie and Zach have a shared interest, saving the environment. They plainly know one another and talk away from their environmental work. They come from very different backgrounds, but have struck up a friendship. A spokesman for Ms. Golding said last night, "To say that Ellie speaks to Zach Goldsmith outside of work is completely untrue." Mr. Goldsmith declined to comment. Well, okay. Well, whatever happened, happened, and Ellie is no longer with Casper, and, Zach is no longer with Ellie. And I don't know who Ellie's with now, if anyone. I'm not much one for pop stars. They don't interest me much, unless they're connected into this larger milieu. But so this was the connection. So this story, You Only Live Thrice, You Only Wed Thrice, that was what sparked my desire to do a deep dive into the Goldsmith family, which I'm going to continue in future streams, because there's a lot of tabloid nonsense, and it's a lot of fun, and a lot of connections, a lot of names, and shenanigans, which I love. Socialites and shenanigans is one of my favorite things to read and to share. So that was the article, this one, that led me to jump onto the Goldsmith bandwagon. And then this article about Sam Taylor Wood's daughter is the one that reminded me that, oh, whoopsie, Jay Jopling isn't Casper's father, which I knew couldn't make sense because I knew Casper wasn't Sam Taylor Wood's or Taylor Johnson's son. So I knew that was wrong. But yeah, Casper is Jay's nephew. And that's and the James Bond connection also is that Aaron, who I'm scrolling down. Okay, that's the 50 Shades of Grey. There's Amy. Where's Aaron? Aaron Johnson, there's Jay Jopling again, is being considered to be, there he is. That's Aaron. And Sam and Angelica and Phoenix, much younger. This is an old photo. But Aaron is being considered, or he's one of the names that's constantly being tossed around anymore. Is he going to be the next James Bond? So we have the James Bond connection. Aaron Taylor Johnson considered to possibly be the next James Bond. And Zach Goldsmith is dating the great niece of Ian Fleming, the late writer who created James Bond. So there's James Bond and James Bond, and we bring it full circle, just as they do with their dating histories. And I think that's everything. Well, there's Jay and Casper and Ellie, and there's Jay. Is there anything more interesting in this article relevant to what we're talking about? Because I really don't care about the movies that Sam has directed. I've never seen 50 Shades of Grey. I have not seen the Amy Winehouse movie. Jay Jopling is an art dealer and gallerist who founded contemporary gallery White Cube and is the son of Baron Jopling, a life peer in the House of Lords as member of the Conservatives, much like Baron Goldsmith, a life peer and a conservative. His brother, Nicholas, son Casper, was married to singer Ellie Goulding and 3-year-old son Arthur. He was not married to their 3-year-old son. That is an incredibly poorly written sentence. But announced their split in February this year. Sam met actor... I wish I could get this thing to go away. Sam met actor Aaron Taylor Johnson on the set of her directorial film debut, Nowhere Man, in 2009. Wasn't that about John Lennon? I think? Or Bob Dylan or something like that. I guess Nowhere Man was a Beatles song, so John Lennon makes more sense. I don't know. It was something like that. When she was 42 and he was just 18. Gross. She previously spoke about falling for Aaron on the set, but has insisted nothing happened until the movie wrapped, as though that makes it better. I'm sorry, 42? And you're falling for an 18-year-old? Emotional maturity is a thing, and there's no way in heck that an 18-year-old, any 18-year-old, is going to match a 42-year-old, grown a woman, sophisticated, who's raising children, and has had a career in high art. Yeah, no. Movie of the Week says in the chat, he looks like a dork. Dorks can't be James Bond. Looking at you, Timothy Dalton. Oh, poor Timothy Dalton. You know, he wasn't my favorite Bond either. But you think Aaron is a dork? He was more dorky when he was younger. But this guy, like, okay, I don't like the little smirky, smuggy, you know, kind of that, where they smile with half their mouth. Like, look at him as a teenager. Like, that's a normal, okay, he looks like he's zooted. His eyes look zooted. Maybe that's just him. I don't know. Or maybe he's zooted. Maybe this is some, you know, Diddy Bieber kind of situation, right? But look at his smile. He smiles with his whole mouth. Both corners of his mouth go up. Here, the older, sophisticated, Hollywoodized Aaron, he's doing that little crappy smirk thing where he's just pulling one side of his mouth up. It's I hate that look. I hate when people do that as a smile. If you're going to smirk and mean it. If you're going to be smug, be smug. But if you're going to be smug, you either have to be incredibly right to get away with it and not come across as a see you next Tuesday, or you have to be an unabashed see you next Tuesday and just go for it. Yes, Movie of the Week has put his impression of the smirk. Yes. But you know, when people do it as like, here, I'm going to smile, and they smirk as though that's okay. Smirking is nasty. Smirking is condescending. Smirking is, yeah, right. Smirking is, I told you so. Smirking is like, you know, condescending. When people use a smirk as their smile, and it's not a character thing. It's not like, oh, I'm a bad guy. I'm a jerk. I play a jerk character, so I smirk and jerk. Well, they rhyme, right? Okay, that makes sense. But if you're trying to say, hey, I'm a nice guy, I'm a cool guy, I'm a smart guy, I'm your Hollywood, you know, hey, everybody, I'm your Hollywood guy. Look at me. I'm giving you blue steel or brown steel or whatever. I can't tell. He has blue eyes? I can't really see from here. But if you're going to give that blue steel the smirk, bruh, you have to be a certain kind of something to be able to get away with giving me a smirk. You have to be a certain kind of and he ain't got it. Not for me anyway, but it works for other women. But when you smirk as your smile, you're not a great, but you're conveying, I'm not a nice person. I'm not a great person. I'm not a genuine person. I'm a weasel. And there's only certain types of people that can get away with being a weaselly, smirky person and not completely turn you off. Not be a creep. It's a creepy look. It's a creepy look. And even the people who get away with it, they creepy too. They can just pull it off. It's like what the French say, belle laid, you know, ugly hot. Like, you know, like, oh, that guy's ugly, but he's real sexy, but he's ugly. Yeah, but you see the sexy underneath, right? Yeah. And, you know, it's the smirky thing too. You know, you could be a smirky jerk, but you have to have the right level of like something to get away with that. And if you don't have that, you don't get away with it. And to me, that's that. Everybody adopting that new smirk thing, they just come across as condescending jerks. They don't have what it takes to pull that character off. And the fact that that's a new character that is being pushed out or has been for years now, that smirky thing, you know what? Here, Movie of the Week, you know what I'm going to talk about. And you might even read my mind where I'm going with this. That one eyebrow thing. That one eyebrow thing. That thing where celebrities started doing this, I don't know how many years ago, and I don't want to pick on this person, but this is someone who comes to mind, Kumail Nanjiani. He was the master of that one eyebrow up, one eyebrow like normal kind of thing, and that's your look. I don't know if he does that anymore. He may have moved out of that character. But when that look became a thing, that one eyebrow up, like, or worse, the two eyebrows up, those people who do that, they make that face. You know what I'm talking about? It's a condescending look. It's a disrespectful to the people you are shooting that look at look. And that look has to go away. The one eyebrow look has to go away. The one mouth smirk thing has to go away. Stop condescending. Stop looking down on people. It's not a good look. This guy here, he's not Hollywood. He's not polished. Look at his curly hair. It's natural. Look at this. Smoothed back. Lighter even. Does it look good? Sure, it looks good. It looks good with his tux. It looks good with the red carpet. Okay, fine. His little facial hair, whatever. Facial hair doesn't work for me, but I'm not saying he looks bad, but okay. You're sophisticated. You're wearing your big boy suit with your big boy mommy wife. That's all cool. This guy, even though he looks zooted, he looks happy. He looks calm. He looks relaxed. He looks chill. He smiles with his whole mouth. This guy, look at me. I'm giving you a look. Don't give me a look. Don't you give me that look. Don't you be fake. And quite frankly, she even looks happier here. The cat that got the underage cream, you know. I almost dropped an F-bomb because that's that nasty. It's that nasty. You can understand why an 18-year-old boy would be like, oh, guess what's happening? Oh, look what I'm getting. A 42-year-old woman, grown a woman and mother of children, should not be over the moon because she's convinced someone her daughter should be crushing on, maybe, to be her new man. That man, my goodness, listen to what I'm saying. This is an insane conversation. Movie of the week says, not the people's eyebrow, but see, movie of the week, that was a character. The Rock played a character. That wasn't Dwayne Johnson giving you that eyebrow. That was The Rock giving you the people's eye. And it was the people's eyebrow. He was being condescending on behalf of the people. I guess? I don't know. I never watch wrestling. But again, it's a character. And with the character that he played on a show, I'm calling World Wrestling a show. On a show, that fits. That makes sense. I have no problem with that. And if he's going, I'm The Rock on a red carpet, yeah, he's going to do the eyebrow. I get it. But, you know, for everyone to run around and do that, like The Rock is allowed to do that. I don't want to see like regular somebody on, like, you know, a regular performer, an actor, a singer, I don't know, a tennis player, a politician. I don't want them giving me the people's eyebrow. Thank you. Movie of the week says, I don't know, I never saw him wrestle. Oh, come on. We've all seen The Rock in wrestling shorts. We've all seen The Rock do something, right? I'm sure I've seen a clip of The Rock doing wrestling. I just never sat down and watched it. I don't think I could make the claim that I've never seen The Rock wrestle, because I'm sure I've seen a clip. I'm sure I must have seen a clip. Just nothing I've ever sat down and watched. But anyway, okay. Was there anything that I didn't cover? Ellie and Casper. We read this article. I think I maybe covered all of my bases and all of our updates. We did Matthew Kumar and his suspended legal license. We did Zach and his third wedding, and we'll have to come back and talk more about Zach and his wives, and Ben and his wives, and their dad Sir Jimmy and his wives, and there are many more stories to tell, but that will have to be for another stream, another time, sometime this week, perhaps tomorrow. I would certainly love to come back tomorrow if time is permitting, but being an empress in my own virtual empire is very time consuming, and so we shall see. But for now, I am going to wrap up this stream, and I thank you for being here. I thank you, Movie of the Week, for being my one and only true fan and chat participant, so I don't entirely have to feel like I am talking to myself like a crazy person. And I will be back talking to myself and you, hopefully tomorrow. I am planning on continuing my deep dive into the goldsmiths, but I have some other topics that I would like to cover. And of course, if anything interesting happens in the news, I'm going to be all over that. But definitely come back. If you've listened this far, which is a miracle, then you must be interested in what we're talking about here. So you should go ahead and subscribe to the channel. hit that like button, and, do all of those wonderful things that one does when one enjoys a YouTube channel and would like to come back. Because we do live streams, if you don't subscribe, you're not going to know when we're live, because we don't yet have a schedule. Hopefully we will in the near future. But for now, I will say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And thank you to you, user Movie of the Week, my big helper. And I will say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day.